listening to Keith Sports News. Hey, guys. Welcome to KSN episode 55. You hear that music? We all know that. I have to play that on this particular date. Yes, it is Independence Day. Happy 4th of July, folks. Hope y'all are having a great celebration or whatever you do. A 3-day weekend, basically, for a lot of people. Yep. And, yep, I have to wear this hat. This is my US hat. I really like this hat. The US hat. And the USA shirt. USA shirt. Yep. I actually have a lot of USA shirts, believe it or not, so this is the one that I'm wearing. Alright. By the way, if you hear that noise in the background, that's my mini fan. It's actually kind of warm in this room. My clock says it's 81 degrees. That's pretty warm. So, I'll try my best to talk louder, and yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Although I was in that big room a few episodes, and I had the air condition on, and that was obviously much louder than this mini fan. So, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, happy Independence Day, happy birthday, America. 249 years old, this country. I know. 1776. So next year will be the 250th birthday for the United States, which is going to be probably crazy, because next year it'll be on a Saturday. Yeah. So yeah, I decided to do an episode, a special edition of KSN on 4th of July, because it's a Friday this year. Most of my episodes are on Mondays and Fridays each week, and it is a Friday. Why not do an episode? This one won't be too long. I don't want this to be too long anyways, because I'm sure most of you guys have your own 4th of July plans, just like me. But if you are listening to this episode on the 4th of July, then that's awesome. That means you are a fan. You are a big fan of KSN, so thank you very much. So, what are we going to talk about? So I made a list on what I will talk about. Alright, so the main thing. So, the biggest sporting event happening right now is Wimbledon tennis. Alright, we're going to talk about that. CFL, what is this, week 4 or week 5, I believe. There was a game last night. I'll talk about that as well. And a little bit of Major League Baseball. Alright. So, starting off with Wimbledon tennis. Okay. Thankfully, I have YouTube TV so that I can watch it on DVR and fast forward through the commercials. Or if there's a certain match that they're showing that I'm not interested in, and I would just fast forward through that. It's kind of like pro wrestling. If I watch today's pro wrestling, if there's a certain match that I don't really care about, I'll fast forward through it. It's kind of the same thing with tennis, okay? So, yeah, because I can't watch this live. It's early in the morning, and I had work, okay, during the daytime. So luckily I can watch this when I get home. And that's what I did. Last night, I had Wimbledon on for like, all evening. I started at like a little after 7 p.m. and it went on until it was like over 7 hours of tennis. Crazy. Now, I will admit, I wasn't watching the TV screen for 7 hours straight, okay? But I did watch quite a bit of it throughout the evening. So I'll talk about that in a bit. And I also had the CFL Thursday night game at the same time. So I was watching both at the same time from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. So let's talk about Wimbledon first, because that is the biggest thing happening right now in sports. So I did a special Tuesday edition of KSN because I didn't have the time to have it recorded on Monday. So sometimes it'll be on a Tuesday, but it's mostly on Mondays. Alright, so I talked about the first 2 days of Wimbledon were very hot days, and for some stupid reason, the big courts that have a retractable roof, they would leave the roof open. 90-degree weather, and the roof is open. I mean, that's ridiculous. And then there was a fan that collapsed. I assume that fan got dehydrated because of the extreme heat. Luckily, it is not that hot anymore. I believe day 3 it was raining, and that made the temperature drop. So it went down to like the mid 70s. It's a lot better. Alright. And man, Wimbledon was off to a crazy start. The heat, and not only that, a bunch of upsets in the first round. Okay? So, I believe this is a record. The most, the top 10 seeds. Listen, I took a picture of this graphic that they were showing. It says top 10 seeds out in the first round. Okay? This was on, okay, this was day 2, I believe. 4 from the men's side and 4 from the ladies' side, the women's side. So a total of 8. 8 top 10 seeded players out in the first round of Wimbledon. I believe that is a record, as well as the temperature was a high record of 90 degrees. Wimbledon off to a crazy start in 2025. So, and on the ladies' side, I'll do ladies first, okay? Paula Padoza, the 9 seed, eliminated. The 5th seed, Paula Padoza's from Spain, okay? The 5th seed, Qinwen Zhang, I hope I pronounced her name right, but I do remember her. She won the Olympic gold medal, I believe, last year from China. She's eliminated as well. And the top 2 American female players are also eliminated. The 3-seeded Jessica Pegula and the recent French Open champion Coco Gauff eliminated. Wow! That's crazy. That is crazy. Oops, excuse me, I didn't mean to hit the microphone. On the gentlemen's side, the 9-seed Daniil Medvedev from Russia, even though they can't show the Russian flag for obvious reasons, he's eliminated. The 8-seed Holger Rune, isn't he from Denmark? I think he is. He's eliminated as well. The 7-seed Lorenzo Musetti, the Olympic bronze medalist from Italy, also eliminated. And the number 3-seeded player, Alexander Zverev, Sasha Zverev from Germany, is eliminated. Oh my gosh. These well-known names. 8 4 on the ladies' side, 4 on the gentlemen's side, all eliminated in the first round. What the heck? How does that happen? That's crazy. Which means that's going to open up the doors for a lot of the lower seeded players. So, ladies' side, the favorite to win is Aryna Sabalenka, the player that I thought she would win at the French Open. She won the Australian Open a couple of times, so she never won Wimbledon. She has never won Wimbledon. And you know what's crazy on the women's side? I heard that there was like 8 different Wimbledon champions on the ladies' side for the past 8 or 9 years, technically, because there was no tournament in 2020 because of COVID. So I think we're going to have a new Wimbledon champion. Now, the defending women's Wimbledon champion, I believe she's still in the draw. Her name is Barbora Krejcikova from the Czech Republic. So she had to face the Filipino player Alexandria Ayala, and she won that match, but she's not one of the favorites to win. So I think we're gonna have a brand new ladies Wimbledon champion. I don't know. This is the craziest. Which one out of all these names? Which one is the most surprising one? I would have to say Coco Gauff, because she just won the French Open. I get a different surface, going from clay to grass. I get it. I was going to say Sasha Zverev, but I'm going to say Coco Gauff because she just won the French Open. And I also would listen to their press conferences. That's what I do for the Grand Slam tournaments. I would listen to their press conferences. I listened to Coco Gauff's press conference after her loss. And she just, well said words. She wasn't angry at herself, or she's a very cool person. We all like Coco Gauff. We expect her to make a slight comeback at the the next major tournament, the United States Open. She won that in 2023, and she just recently won the French Open, so she's having a great year. But that is very strange, very odd, very rare, I believe, where this player just won a Grand Slam title and lost the first round at the next Grand Slam. But hey, she's only 20. She's only 20, for Pete's sake, so no need to give her any criticism or backlash. I remember she made her debut 6 years ago when she was 15 at Wimbledon back in 2019. She beat Venus Williams. And ever since she won that match, people kept talking about her. And then there was people that were saying, "Oh, she'll never win a major." And then what happened? She won 2 of them. Okay, so yeah. Lately, these names again, I really don't know. I'm not sure what's been going on with Daniil Medvedev lately. Years ago, he used to be in the top 5 or even the top 3, but lately he hasn't been playing that well. Okay, I just found out this is all those names that I mentioned. It says at the bottom of the graphic, most at major open era. Yep. So this is a record indeed. So first 2 days, record high temperatures and record upsets. Crazy. But on the gentleman's side, the two favorites, or really the three favorites, are still in it. Yannick Sinner, the number one seeded player, the French Open champion Carlos Alcaraz, and the 7-time Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic. I think they're the three best players right now. It's crazy. Novak and these two youngsters. Novak just turned 38. Still playing great for his age, you know. So, and also, unfortunately, they can't Wimbledon. They cannot play night matches. They cannot play night matches. And so if it gets too dark before the match is over, in the smaller courts, they would say play suspended, and they would resume the match the next day. Now, center court and court number one, they have a retractable roof, so they can close that roof and play a little longer, but there's like a policy, or a curfew, whatever. You can't play past 11 p.m. So that kind of sucks. Australian Open's not like that. U.S. Open is not like that. I don't think the French Open is like that as well. They can play these very late night matches. So, yeah. All right, so let me go through these scores here. Let me just skim through these here. Man, there were quite a bit of 5-setter matches in the first round on the men's side. Yeah, Taylor Fritz, the number 5 seeded American player Taylor Fritz, had to play 2 back-to-back 5-set matches. That's crazy. Against 2 of the tallest players. That's what I heard. He had to face 2 of the tallest players in the tournament. So, we got an American player playing on the 4th of July, Taylor Fritz. So, I'll try to watch his match. Francis Tiafoe got eliminated in the second round against the Great Britain player Cameron Norrie. Alright. Excuse me. And Thursday, July 3rd, this is where I really watched a lot of the tennis. I'll tell you some of the matches that I was watching here. I mainly watched the Novak match against Daniel Evans, even though Novak won in straight sets, 6-3, 6-2, 6-love. I do remember Dan Evans. He's known for not wearing the long socks. Okay? And last year, he was Andy Murray's doubles partner in the Olympics. Yeah, so I do remember him from that. And he's been around for many years as well. So Novak took care of business. Will be advancing to the third round. And I saw they show like the brackets. The one that Novak's in. It looks like he has an easy path to the semifinals. That might actually happen. The question is, will he go back to the final again? Alright. Excuse me, yeah, I'm tired. I'm recording this right before I'm going to sleep here. Thankfully, I have no work today, so I can just chill out. Alright. So, unfortunately, there were 2 matches that got suspended because it got too dark. One's on court 18 with Gael Monfils, the French player. His match got suspended. A well-known player, has been around for many years. Court 18 is known for the longest match, not only in Wimbledon history, but in pro tennis history as well. Court 18. You can look that up. It was from 15 years ago. And no, I wasn't watching that at the time. I wasn't watching any sports at the time. Okay, I was a kid back then. Alright. And another match I got suspended was the American player Ben Shelton. And listen to the score. It got suspended when Shelton won the first two sets. Shelton won the first two sets 6-2, 7-5. And in the third set, he's up 5-4. He's one game away from winning the match. And he got upset that the match got suspended because he's one game away from winning that match. So they have to play again today. Can you imagine? They warm up, they come out, hit some balls, and then the match resumes, and then like 1 minute later, oh, Ben Shelton wins. I know, it's so weird. I like Ben Shelton. He's a left-handed player, so I always enjoy watching the left-handed players, especially for me, because I'm also left-handed. Alright, so on the men's side today, as I speak, some of these matches are already happening or have already ended. I will watch Taylor Fritz's match. Why not? Watch an American player play on America's birthday. That's kind of what I do anyways. Wimbledon is always during the first week of July, so Canada Day and Independence Day for the Canadian and American players. Alright. Third round. Got Carlos Alcaraz in action. Alright. And then tomorrow, Saturday, let's see here. Any interesting matchups here? Novak will be in action. Yannick Sinner will be in action. Oh, there was an upset that happened. Excuse me. There was an upset that happened on Thursday on the men's singles. The number 4 seeded player from Great Britain, Jack Draper, lost to Marin Cilic from Croatia. Marin Cilic, he's been around for many years, and I thought he retired. Yeah, this was actually my first time seeing Marin Cilic in 2025. So when I saw him on my TV screen, I'm like, oh, it's Cilic. He lost a couple of Grand Slam finals to Roger Federer, but I think he won one U.S. Open title. And yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a tall guy too. He beat Jack Draper, another upset, another top 10 seeded player out in the first week of the tournament. That's crazy. Okay. Now to the women's side. Let's see here. Before I talk about the matches that I saw here. Everyone's favorite, Emma Raducanu. She won her second round match against Marketa Vondrousova. Oh yeah, she won Wimbledon in 2023, I believe. Yeah, a former Wimbledon champion, eliminated by Emma Raducanu. Naomi Osaka, let's see how she does. Now this was kind of a surprise. Katie Boulter lost, another Great Britain player. She won the first set 7-6, tiebreaker 9-7, but then she lost the next two sets easily to an Argentina player. Her name is Solana Sierra. The only other Argentina player that I can remember was Juan Martín del Potro. Yeah, he was another very tall player, and he had to deal with a lot of injuries. But back when he was in his prime, he was something to watch. One of my favorite players, Amanda Anisimova. She won her second round match, so I assume she'll be playing on America's birthday today. Interesting. Okay. The Australian Open champion, Madison Keys, also won her second round match. We'll see how she does as well. Okay, so that was on Wednesday. Thursday, yesterday, the matches that I was watching: Iga Swiatek against Katie McNally. I was watching that match. Iga's ranking dropped to number 8. That's unusual, but she did well. She lost the first set 5-7, but then she won the next 2 sets easily, 6-2, 6-1. Barbora Krejcikova, last year's Wimbledon champion, also won her second round matchup. Another former Wimbledon champion, Elena Rybakina, from the 2022 Wimbledon champion, she took care of business by beating Maria Sakkari from Greece 6-3, 6-1. I'm not sure what happened to Sakkari. Her ranking used to be really high, but now she's not even seeded in the top 30. Oh, Belinda Bencic from Switzerland. I do remember her. It's great to see her back. She also won her match. Danielle Collins. She also won her match. I think she's going to be taking on Iga. Is she? I'll have to check the schedule, because they were kind of previewing that. Mira Andreeva, the Indian Wells champion, the 17-year-old youngster, she won as well. Emma Navarro won easily. That was like the first match that I was watching. Alright. So today, here are some of the interesting matchups that I might be watching. Naomi Osaka will be taking on Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. I know that's a long name. It's hard to pronounce. It's hard to spell that name too. Amanda Anisimova will be taking on a player from Hungary. Okay, I thought that for a second I thought the flag was India. I'm like, what? Okay, I'll watch her match. Yeah, why not watch the American players play on America's birthday? Another American player, Madison Keys, will be in action as well. Elise Mertens against Alina Svitolina. That sounds interesting. Here's another interesting matchup. The number 1 seeded player, Aryna Sabalenka, taking on Emma Raducanu. Oh boy, they're going to show that match for sure. And then tomorrow, Saturday, we do have indeed Iga Swiatek versus Danielle Collins, and they were showing that the last time they met each other, Danielle won. So, but this will be their first time meeting on grass. So that'll be interesting. So that's on Saturday. All right. Oh, Clara Tauson is still in Wimbledon. She'll be taking on Elena Rybakina. That's an interesting matchup. Barbora Krejcikova against Emma Navarro is also an interesting matchup. Okay, so there you have it. Me catching up on Wimbledon. I can watch more because I don't have to work on the 4th of July and this weekend as well. So yeah, 3-day weekend for me. All right, we shall see what happens. So yeah, I watched a lot of tennis. And last night, let's move on to the CFL Week 5. All right, I was watching that game live with the tennis on 2 separate TVs. So this was the Stampede Bowl. Yes, between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against the Calgary Stampeders in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So, Calgary, they have something called the Stampede, the Calgary Stampede. It's a big rodeo event. They would have it during the first week of July. So, and their football team name is after that, the Stampeders. All right. So they were in action against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Five Tayer's favorite team. If you are somehow listening to this on the 4th of July, thank you very much. I believe I predicted Winnipeg would win, but I think my mind was saying if Calgary were to win this game, it wouldn't be that surprising. But I'm pretty sure I did pick Winnipeg to win that matchup. And so right before the game started, I was kind of watching the CFL pregame show with Kate Burness, Enoch Muamba, and Paul LaPolice. They were all dressed up for the Stampede, so that was kind of funny. But man, I miss Matt Dunn again. I miss that guy. I really want to know why he's no longer on the team anymore. And I know Milt Stiegel needs more time off because of what happened. His son's passing, which is crazy. I still can't believe that. So lately there's been 3 people at the desk instead of 4 because of that. So this game, the weather was actually cool. Yeah, it was like perfect weather for football. But normally, since it's summer season, you'd think it would be much warmer, but it wasn't. The Stampeders were on a roll. They were on a roll. My gosh. At halftime, 29-6 Stampeders. I was like, wow. This is not the same Stampeders team that lost against the Ottawa Red Blacks. And this is not the same Winnipeg Blue Bombers team as well. And the second half, not much happened. Winnipeg got a late touchdown, but it was too little too late. The Stampeders won 37-16. I don't know, when's the last time the Blue Bombers lost by this much? Well, I guess if you count last year's Grey Cup, that was surprising. This was also surprising as well. So now both the Blue Bombers and the Stampeders are 3-1. And there was like a couple of pick sixes. That's how the Stampeders got more points, Those pick sixes are killers. Alright, so the standings here. The only undefeated team is the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and the only winless team is the Edmonton Elks. The Roughriders are not playing this week, but the Elks are. Alright. So, let me make my predictions for the rest of Week 5. Tonight, Friday night, will be the Hamilton Tiger Cats at the Toronto Argonauts. Hamilton got a big win against my favorite team, the Montreal Alouettes, last week. Same with the Argonauts. They finally won their first game. I'm going to go with the Argonauts. I think it might be a close game, though. What if I watch this game? Watching a Canadian football game on the 4th of July. Because, listen, for my 4th of July plans, I'm always at the house. I don't go out. I don't go shooting fireworks and all that. I just chill out here, So, maybe I'll watch it live. If not, then I guess I'll have it recorded. Saturday night, this is the game that I'll be looking forward to because it's my favorite team playing. The Alouettes hosting. They're coming back home after playing 3 straight road games, which was strange. They'll be taking on the BC Lions. I think the Alouettes will they'll bounce back after that loss, their first loss of the season. I think they're going to beat the BC Lions. I will watch that game live. And then Sunday night is two not-so-great teams. The Ottawa Red Blacks against the Edmonton Elks in Edmonton. I'm going to cheer for Edmonton so they can get their first win finally. And I think they will win. Come on. It's at home. You got to win that game. You got to win that game. So, yeah. So, yeah, the season started about a month ago, and I've watched almost all their games live. That just shows you how much of a big fan I am of the Canadian Football League. My favorite league, my number one favorite league, especially during the summer and the fall. So, yeah, I'll be locked into this league all the way until the Grey Cup, which will be in the Sunday before Thanksgiving. America Thanksgiving. Canada's Thanksgiving is in October. If you don't know that. Yeah, I think it's on a Monday. Canada's Thanksgiving is on a Monday. So, anyways, so there you have it. My Week 5 predictions. The rest of my Week 5 predictions of the CFL. Now, the 4th of July is always an interesting day for Major League Baseball, right? Usually, I think the players, they'll be wearing like some USA colors. Usually they would, wear something special, right? Excuse me, my butt hurts on the seat because I've been sitting down too long, watching too much tennis. All right, so I'm almost done here. Yeah, we'll see how the players will look in their uniforms. Usually they would wear something special for the 4th of July. I don't know if it's just going to be today or the rest of the weekend. We shall see. And I know that every year the Washington Nationals, they play early on the 4th of July at DC. I don't know why they always play early on that holiday, but clearly DC must be having something else going on late afternoon in the evening. Maybe they have like a big fireworks show. I don't know. But that's always the first game on. The Washington Nationals. They always play early on Independence Day. And Canada Day was a couple of days ago. And Toronto Blue Jays, they always play an afternoon game on Canada Day. Which leads me to this. The Toronto Blue Jays, they swept the New York Yankees. Wow. And I believe that has never happened before in their franchise. I'm talking about, I think, because I was watching the Canadian Sports Center highlights show or whatever. I think they were saying that's never happened before. Or at least at Rogers Center, also known as the Sky Dome. I think more people still call it the Sky Dome. So, wow. And the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays, I think they passed the New York Yankees in the standings. That is huge. Let me check real quick. I think they're both ahead by one game. For whatever reason, somehow the Yankees are not playing good baseball. Yeah, the past 2 weeks or so, the Yankees and the Mets not really winning that many games. But I expect those two teams to still make the playoffs. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, I'm looking at the standings right now. The Toronto Blue Jays are now in first place in the American League East. And the Yankees and the Rays are tied at second. Oh boy. Crazy. Alright. So. In Major League Baseball, on 4th of July weekend, we have the two worst teams facing each other. That's right. I'm talking about last year's worst team that broke the record for the most losses the Chicago White Sox, taking on this year's worst team, the Colorado Rockies. And the game's going to be in Coors Field. The two worst teams. That's right. The White Sox are 28-59, and the Rockies are 20-67. The two worst teams will be facing each other on 4th of July weekend. Wow! You can call this the Toilet Series. Might be a good series, too. I might actually maybe I'll watch their first game tonight. White Sox and Rockies. Hey, the one cool thing about Major League Baseball is it's unpredictable. Any team can win, any team can lose. The worst team can beat the best team. Yeah. It can happen. It's so hard when that happens, though, but it just makes it interesting, you know? So, we got that. And, you know what? The regular season is already halfway over. But people say, oh, no, it's not halfway over. Once we get to the All-Star game, that's when it's halfway over. Technically, it's not, because the season started in late March, and the regular season will end in late September, so we're already in July. So that means the season's already a little over halfway over. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why the All-Star game's not in, late June, early July, but it is what it is. So, because, they play 162 games. Half of that is 81. So all these teams, they've played more than 81 games. So, for example, the Philadelphia Phillies, they have 51 wins and 36 losses. So that's a total of 87 games that they played. So that's more than half. So yeah. Anyways. So yeah, big weekend. 4th of July weekend. You got Wimbledon tennis. You got Canadian football, yeah. And of course Major League Baseball. But there's always something that this 60-minute program that occurs every year on this holiday, broadcasted by ESPN. I'm talking about the hot dog eating contest. Yeah. What does that have to do with sports? Well, every year the ESPN would air that on the 4th of July. And I do watch that every year, by the way, the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest, also known as the Joey Chestnut Show, because pretty much every year, this man wins the contest for the past, holy crap, 15 plus years. Although last year, he got banned, but this year they're letting him back in. So last year he didn't win it because he wasn't in it. We had a different winner. This year he's coming back. We'll see how he does. It's crazy. Joey freaking Chestnut. Jaws! So, yeah, I'm going to watch that. I have that recorded just in case if I miss it live. And I can always speed through the commercials. So, yeah, and I'm not a big hot dog guy, but I would usually eat some hot dogs on this particular holiday. And hey, hot dog is like one of the foods that people get when you're at a baseball game, So, yeah. Alright, guys. That is it. So, enjoy your 4th of July weekend, whether if you're just staying home like me and watching sports, or maybe you're going somewhere with friends and family and you're playing sports. I don't know. Just have a good time and don't Go too crazy. All right. Happy birthday, America. And John Sterling. Yes, it's also his birthday. I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you for listening to Keith's Sports News.